Biome spread is one of the most hated mechanics in Terraria by far. There are so many people out there who will tell you it's a reason that they don't even like the game, while others will tell you that it's actually an underrated mechanic and people are complaining a bit too much. So, is Biome spread really that bad, or is it actually a good mechanic? Let's talk about it. I think we should start by talking about what Biome Spread tries to do, because it's not like it's in the game for no reason. It adds a layer of pressure and urgency to every playthrough. It doesn't feel like your world is just static and nothing is going on. There's constantly the thought in the back of your mind that if you don't make progress, your world could just get overtaken. This is exaggerated in early hard mode when it really does become an actual problem. If you don't pay attention to your world for long enough, or you don't make quick enough progress to reach the contaminator, your world might just get ruined. That pressure can be bad for a lot of reasons, and we'll bring that up pretty soon, but it can also be very good. Somebody who wants a reason to continue making progress or wants their world to feel more alive might like Biome Spread. I think somebody could view it as another challenge that's actually unique, it's not just boss 27 or something like that, or your next item that you're gonna grind for 3 hours. It's a completely new and unique challenge that many other games don't even have anything similar to. I mean, seriously, it's not really that normal for sandbox games to have mechanics like Biome Spread, so it can make Terraria feel more unique. It's sort of a part of its identity at this point. Now, with that being said, I think those are really the only arguments I've seen for people who like Biome Spread, because in all honesty, it's not a great mechanic, and there are a lot of reasons for that. For an average normal player, or even an experienced veteran, it can be extremely unnecessarily punishing. When you go into early hard mode, you're basically forced into mining all of the hard mode ores, making progress, fighting one or maybe multiple mechanical bosses just so you can get the contaminator, which costs a bunch of money, also that you can make sure that the corruption doesn't take over your world. For a lot of people, that can feel like a totally unnecessary challenge, more of a chore than a challenge if anything, and that's really the biggest problem with the mechanic. And another issue is that it can straight up destroy important biomes, which in all honesty I don't think it should. Biome Spread really isn't horrible as a whole, and I think as a concept it could work, but it definitely needs some changes, and one of the biggest ones is it should not take over the jungle as quickly as it does. You can use the contaminator to reverse the effects of the corruption on the jungle, but I really don't think that's really an inconvenience that most people should have to go through in the first place. The most frustrating thing that can happen to you in Terraria ever is when you're in a normal old playthrough, you defeat the wall of flesh, and you see that your jungle has been corrupted. Genuinely, it is so frustrating when this happens, and for whatever reason, it happens quite often. And the final problem with Biome Spread that is very important is that the game does a very bad job at communicating it to you through the game. If you're a completely new Terraria player who hasn't really played the game a lot, doesn't have a lot of friends telling you what to do, and doesn't check the wiki, you're gonna have no idea how Biome Spread works, and that's going to give it a much better chance of ruining everything. One could argue that Terraria has a big problem with beginner friendliness in general, and that's definitely true, but I don't think somebody could really use that as an argument to defend Biome Spread being so vague. Obviously, all of us Terraria players know how the mechanic works, but a lot of new players don't, and then a lot of players, when they figure out how it works, are completely turned off because it's so unnecessarily punishing. So in conclusion, is Biome Spread actually that bad? Yes, I think it kind of is. I see why a few people definitely like it, but I think for the vast majority of players, it feels more like a chore or a slog than an actual fun challenge. But what do you think about Biome Spread? Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments, and as always, make sure to subscribe if you like the content, because we're trying to reach 10K by the end of the year, and I could use your help. Alright, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.